Well, welcome everyone. Here we are. What are we? February 9th already. Can you believe it? 2026. This is craziness. Welcome to the call. These for these next 7 weeks or 6 more weeks, um, we're doing something a little bit different here. We are going through our 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Greg and I are going to be presenting on habit number 2 this evening. And it's all about begin with the end in mind. And we are so excited. I asked Greg if he could tell a short story because we're recording this. And so, let me first start off. My name is Jennifer Polk. I was introduced to Life Manager. It found me 16 years ago. That is just crazy for me to say that 16 years ago. And boy, did it find me at a time that I really needed it. It was a very hard time in my life. My husband at that time was given 2 to 5 years to live. We had a young son. And thank God that LifeVantage entered our world because it changed our world forever. The products changed it because not only now my ex-husband is doing incredibly well, but also the business of LifeVantage. Because if I wouldn't have had this business opportunity, this micro franchise, as we're calling it, that was introduced to us, I would not be where I'm at today. I truly believe that. So I I love the products. I love the business opportunity and I love the community. And on that note, I would love to introduce my cohort in crime this week, Mr. Greg Dieker, good friend, mentor, and I love his story, his Life Vantage story. And then we'll start. Well, I'll go back just a little bit. So we're doing these 7 weeks. Our first week was all about purpose and excuse me, yes, purpose. Sorry. Purpose. And it was all about being proactive. And the second week is about beginning with the end in mind. So, Mr. Deeker, if you can share your story and then we'll get started, I'll start sharing the slide deck.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you very much, Jennifer, for inviting me. Um, you and I have had a great relationship for a really long time, even though we're not on the same team. And you always call me your mentor, but what you don't realize is what I learned from you. And so it's a two-way street for me. I really enjoy working with you, and I wish everyone was as open and cooperative as you are to try new things but realize when they don't work to do something else. So um, I love working with you. I love working with your team. Um, I like you. I'm thrilled to be part of LifeVantage. I have as of November, I've been here 16 years, so a little over 16 years now, and I feel so blessed to be here. At the time that I got introduced to LifeVantage, I was broke. I was dead broke. Um, I had been unemployed for a long period of time, 2.5 years, and before I finally did get a job as a sheriff's deputy. The sheriff's deputy was a job, but it paid about a tenth of what I've made at my old job before that, and it was money, but it sure wasn't what I had planned for. Sure wasn't what I'd promised my wife, and it sure wasn't something for the future from a financial standpoint. So when I got introduced to this, I took a look at it and went, I don't really know what all this says, what all this does, but something told me it had legs. Something told me that it had a future to it, that if anyone with a little bit of vision was paying attention, there was a great opportunity here. This was without a question the opportunity with a capital O. And so I jumped in. I was dead broke. I didn't have a dime to my name hardly. It cost $1,000 to get in the business at that time. And it just so happened that my wife and I, the way we were making ends meet, we were selling trees off of our property, off our small ranch. And I had one tree in particular that the landscaper had offered me $1,000 for. And my wife had said no. She kind of liked it. It was in our front yard. Um, I have to be honest, when I found out about this opportunity, I did not call my wife. I called Steve, the tree guy, and said, "Hey, buddy, do you still want that tree?" And he said, "Absolutely." I said, "Great. Be at my house tomorrow morning at 6:30 with your tree spade and a check for $1,000." And sure enough, he did. I got the check, got in business, and went to work. Uh, Long story short, I put in 180 days in this business without taking a day off. I did something for my business every day for 180 straight days. At the 10-month period of time, we received our first five-figure check. At the 13th month, I became what we called an elite distributor, um, what we call executive distributors now. Um, and At 18 months, I'd put myself in a position to leave the sheriff's office, retire from the sheriff's office, and go full time in this business because having a full time job was actually hurting me growing my LifeVantage business. I consider myself the most blessed person in the network marketing world to have found this opportunity. I had tried network marketing with seven other companies. I guess you could call me a seven-time loser because I never made enough money at any one of those other seven companies to even cover my expenses, much less put me in a position to make money and put money in the bank, and not be employed at a job. And so it has been fabulous for me. I've loved every minute of it. People ask me all the time, what's my favorite thing about LifeVantage? That's easy. It's the people. It's like the people that are on this call that I've gotten to be great friends with and will be friends with for a long, long time to come. But it's the people, it's the culture. And What a wonderful culture, just like tonight, for those of you who happen to get on the call with our CEO at 6 p.m. Mountain Time tonight when he talked about his upcoming retirement. How many CEOs are willing to sit down to the entire company and say, "Hey, by the way, I'm taking off. I'm finally going to retire and go." And people were applauding him nonstop. He was getting the most wonderful messages from people saying thank you for what he'd done for the company and wishing him all the best in his retirement. Other companies don't have cultures like that. They just don't. If the CEO's leaving, everybody freaks out and they go nuts. People here aren't doing that. They recognize this is good for Steve, and in the long run, it'll probably be good for us. So the culture is absolutely the best. With that, um, Jennifer and I are on the same team, or excuse me, the same team as far as Team LifeVantage goes, but we're not on the same team, which most companies can't stand that kind of a culture. I love it, in my opinion. We were lucky enough here a few weeks ago to travel to Salt Lake City together and go to the League of Leaders, which is where we learned about these seven habits. We had a wonderful time with great people, learned a lot, and we're looking forward to sharing some of that with you tonight. So, with that, Jennifer, I'm going to kick it off to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to share this here. Oops, I'm going to present. Do, 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 do. Let me know. Can you guys see? Okay. Thumbs up, somebody. Yes.
I
Yes.
can see.
Awesome. So I'll go back a little bit. Last week we started with habit number one, the proactive, being proactive. And we're going to continue on for the next, well, 5 more weeks after this. And this one, I love this one because it really is about chartering your own course. If you begin with the end in mind, you're going to charter your own course. And really, this is the one that is about being the most personal. Like, this is the most work that you're going to do on the inside. So, this principle, and I'll do this part, Greg, is habit 2 is about deciding where you want to go, what we want to do, and who we want to be. in the next few hours, the next few months, or across the lifetime. It doesn't really, gosh, okay, it doesn't really matter how fast you're going if you're headed in the wrong direction, right? How often are we going somewhere and we're like, huh, I've been going really fast, but I haven't been going in the right direction. So you want to make sure you're going in the right direction.
I think that's a great quote, Jennifer. And I'll tell you what I relate it to.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who've ever been on a boat, especially a sailboat, when you leave the harbor with your sailboat, you have a plan for where you're going. That plan is going to include how you set your sails. So and that's what you have to do. That's the what we want to do part is set the sails to get where we want to be. And so if you're in the sailboat and you don't do that, you just let the sails flap around and do whatever and don't set the sails to properly grab the wind, do you think you've got any chance of getting where you want to get in your lifetime, or are you just going to wander out in the sea? I think you already know the answer to that.
Yeah, no, and the thing that comes to mind for this, beginning with the end in mind, you have to know two things when you're heading somewhere. You have to know where you're at right now, and you have to know where you're going. So if you think about if you're driving to a new location, you put that GPS in. Those are the two things that you need to have, right? Now, you may get twisted and turned, and there might be a car accident or something at different places, but at least you know where you are going. Okay. So I love this. And we talked about this last week, and we'll talk about this every single week about a paradigm shift. And last week, Dr. Sean was talking about the paradigm, and it's like putting on a pair of glasses. And I love what Stephen Covey says. Each of us tends to think we see things as they are, that we are objective, but this is not the case. We see the world as it is, world not as it is, but as we are. So we can only have our glasses, our lenses on unless we do this paradigm shift. Okay. So the common paradigm is I go with the flow because I can't predict how things will turn out. You want to read the next one, Greg?
Sure. Um, so
Versus,
that's the common paradigm. But if you were wanting to have a highly effective paradigm, you would be clearly defining your vision and purpose will help shape the future that you want. I honestly think this particular habit out of the 7 habits, in my opinion, is the most important one of all. If you're not where you want to be, you have to go through this paradigm shift and you have to pick what is that highly effective paradigm that you want to get to, and then clearly define your vision so that you can get to that point. If you can't do that, I got to tell you what, you're going to struggle. You might be one of those people that gets lucky and happens to find a few of the right people that drive it no matter what you do or what you search for or what you seek. But if you're going to have to do it like 99% of the people are that aren't lucky, that get there by hard work and by planning and by following these principles, you're going to have a clear vision for what you want for the future. And so this is one you got to do, guys. If you don't
okay.
do any of the other 6 besides this one is so important.
Yeah. And for those believers out there, Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, people will perish. So I couldn't agree with you more, Greg. It's all about vision. If we don't know where we're going, we're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did this really fun, what would you call it? Mm, activity? Sure. Fun activity. And they what we were asked to do, it was called backcasting. And I had never heard this term before. Had you heard that one before, Greg? Probably had,
No,
but
this was new to me.
okay, I hadn't either. But what it is it backcasting means to talk or think about something that you're working as if you already achieved it. So this technique is used by surgeon, musicians, professional athletes to mentally rehearse a situation in advance, but we can use it here for any desired outcome. Yeah, for LifeVantage. I picture myself on stage receiving an award, right? You're walking across, getting your diamond, gem rank or a huge accomplishment. So when you do this, the questions that you want to consider is what were my biggest listen to the verbiage. What were the biggest wins? Okay. What steps were required to get there? And it can be anything. What were your biggest challenges or risks? How did it feel? How did it taste? How did it smell? How did it look? How did it sound? And what did you learn?
You know, a great example of all those pulled together is just yesterday, probably most all of us, if not all of us, spent a few hours watching the Super Bowl. Don't you think both of the quarterbacks, both of the coaches on both teams went through some similar kind of questioning of themselves about, what were my biggest wins getting here? What were the steps required to get to those big wins? What is it we did right? What is it we could do better? When you have those kind of questions, and you think through them, you're going to have that you're thinking through the back, so you're back casting. It's going to reveal what your biggest challenges were, what your biggest risks were, um, and you're going to be able to feel what it was like without a question, and you'll also be able to realize what did you learn. There is no such thing as failure in this business. I either win or I learn. And I believe the same thing is true for all of you guys.
Absolutely. I love this example. I'm standing on the top of the hill. I can feel the wind on my back of my neck. I can hear the crowd. I turned down in and ran. I stood up, I engaged my core. I looked at the top of the jump. I was going through every little step and how I wanted to jump to how the jump I wanted to turn out. Freestyle skier. I'm like, yes, 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 right? So picture it, write it down, feel it, taste it, smell it. Look,
How appropriate is that with the Olympics going on right now? And every
right?
single Olympic athlete goes through that before they start their run or start their skate, or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah, no. And the gold from yesterday, the couple is from Colorado.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
yep, skaters. So want to take this one, Greg? Start
Sure.
off.
Um, so the definition from the book is a personal mission statement, an expression of your purpose and your priorities. Think of it as a personal constitution that you can live to. You need to clarify what's most important to you. It reminds you of what gives your life meaning or guides you in making decisions. And this goes for individuals as well as companies. If we look down in the lower right-hand corner of the slide, there's LifeVantage's current mission statement. We offer people around the world a better path to wellness and a healthy, vibrant life. Now, that wellness describes not only physical wellness, but financial wellness. And we've changed this. This is an updated mission statement compared to our old one that now identifies us as doing this around the world. We're becoming a more global company every day. And so the people at LifeVantage, from a corporate standpoint, this is what everything that this guides them on everything they decision they make. Is it helping us benefit people around the world get to a path of financial and physical wellness and healthy, vibrant life?
Love it. Love it. Love it. So, how many here have done a mission statement, have written out a mission statement? Mackenzie, Steve. Let me see. Get me over here. Anybody else? Written
Steve
out.
had his hand up.
Steve and Mackenzie. Awesome. We did this. MJ has. Awesome. Thank you. And we took the time and we wrote out, like, I don't know if you guys can see, like, there's my mission statement. We took time to write it out. And how did we write it out? This was their example of how to do it. Here's the areas that we'll consider for writing a personal mission statement. And this is your personal mission statement. What are your inspirations? So write down the names of 3 people who inspire you and how their qualities could feature your own personal mission. So, just for example, I wrote down Jesus, my dad, and my husband. And it was interesting. And then what qualities or attributes you'd like to have from them. And it was interesting how all 3 of them there were similarities. That was interesting. And then do you want to do the next one, Greg?
Well, chiming in on your
Oh,
inspirations.
yes,
It
absolutely.
Jesus was at the top of my list, of course. The second was I have a, if you will, bonus daughter. It's someone I consider my adopted daughter and have been for the last, I don't know, probably 15 or 20 years. She means the world to me, everything in the world to me, and has made my life better by being part of it. But she's run through a tough life. She was a deputy sheriff herself for a number of years. Unfortunately, went through 2 bad marriages, has 2 children, and now she's finally got on her third marriage, married a wonderful man. And I couldn't be happier. But she inspired me because she never let any of it get her down. She always, kept positive, kept going. And the third person, interestingly enough, that I had in my inspiration that I had written down was sitting next to me at the table when we were there. And it gave me an opportunity to tell someone that I thought the world of, another man in my life, and men, let's face it, we don't do this very well, to sit down and tell that man what he meant to me and why. And I'll tell you what, in the end, that was damn cool. It was really cool. So don't be afraid to dig deep when you're looking for inspirations on who it might be or what it might be when you're doing it.
That's
Um, keep going, girl.
okay. So next is your experiences. And this one was really interesting to me. Write a letter to your younger or your older self, and you can choose any age. And you want to keep it inspirational. And what are you, gosh, I should have read over this again. Sorry, I didn't have my glasses, obviously. What are you looking forward to? When are you at your best? What advice do you want to give you to inspire you? And what can you be proud of? So you can write and you can choose older or younger self.
I wrote mine to my younger self. I'm
You
going to
did.
read you, I want to read you the first 2 sentences because they go right along with the explanation. It says, to my younger self, you have a long and successful life to look forward to. You will face many journeys on your path that will seem unsurmountable, but I promise you will get through every one of them, learn, and move on. Those are my first 2 sentences because I would have loved to have somebody tell me that when I was a younger man.
Interesting. I wrote to my older self and I said, Dear Jennifer, I'm so proud of you. Everything you've gone through, and yet you still keep choosing growth, love, and grit. Even though you're getting up there in age on the calendar, you are not slowing down. So have fun with it. Have fun, have fun.
Well,
And
you're only 29, so you got a long ways to go.
right? Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Talking about the ripple effect. Yep. impacted hundreds of millions of lives to live their potential. And then finally, write down about 3 key roles you play in your personal or professional life. These are that you play. And then write down, or how do you want those people to feel when you interact with them? What do you want them to say or think about you when you're not in the room? So, for example, my role is wife, and the key person is my husband. Okay. Role as a mother, and I put my 3 boys. And then I put mentor, and actually, it's somebody on this call right here. So, and it's how you want them to think or say about you when you're not in the room. And again, it's forward focused. And then what we want to do you want to say anything, Greg?
No,
About,
keep going. You're great.
okay. And then what you do is you take all of these lists that you've written and all these qualities, and then you gather the themes. So you look back at what you wrote down for inspiration, experiences, and relationships. Do you see any consistent words, ideas, or themes? And then write those down. And then from that, you draft your personal mission statement. And what we had is we had 5 minutes without stopping. Don't worry about perfection. Just keep writing down. Let the ideas you've gathered so far to inspire you. And so mine, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's just a lot. It was like a whole page and a half. And I just kept writing and writing and writing. To live a life on purpose, for purpose, to be a beacon of hope for others who are lost, broken, or feel that they can't go on. To inspire others that all things are possible. Matthew 19:26, with God. Never quit, never stop. So, did you want to share any with yours, Greg?
Sure, I'll be happy to. Um, I'm gonna read something to you that some of you may have heard me say if you've ever been in an opportunity meeting that I do. I have a tendency to close the opportunity meeting with the following quote. When I leave this planet, it won't be about the horses we rode, or the trucks we drove, or the homes we lived in, but about the relationships we built and the legacy we leave behind. It's time to decide, what kind of legacy do you want to leave?
Mm,
And I really want to leave a legacy that was one that had an impact on as many people as possible in the most positive way possible through my ministry, my servant leadership, and willingness to give others. Contribution is the key. And I believe that thinking through, beginning with the end in mind, is all about contribution. I'm looking toward the end to say, what contribution am I going to make in order to get to that end point?
mm, love it. Love it. Thank you, Greg. Thank you. I love this quote. We both love this quote. It's incredibly easy to work harder and harder at climbing the ladder of success, only to discover that it's leaning against the wrong wall. Right? Are you spending time and doing things with the right people, right? And then we're going to end on this. So, just to recap, habit 2 is all about purpose. All about purpose. It's about determining the why behind everything we do and creating and living by a personal mission statement that can guide us to live the life that we want. And I love this. We talk about see, do, get. When we see our paradigm, our glasses, okay, we have vision that will help shape our future. Then we do the practices like backcasting and drafting a personal mission statement. Then we get results. a deeper understanding of who you want to be and a greater sense of meaning and purpose. Greg, do you have any final?
Sure. I love this entire habit because it's to me it's all about vision. I even have a training I give I call Vision Quest, which lasts about 45 minutes, and it's all about my vision for this company. And in short, it says this: I've been here for 16 years. 16 years ago, I had no idea that we'd be where we are today 16 years later. So when I look back, I'm like, I had no idea we could get here now. When I backcast that, I had no idea we could get there now. So now my vision is, what do we look like 16 years from now? What's going to be the next, if you will, era um, for me with this company and what the company's going to do? I can tell you now, my vision for this company 16 years from now is gigantic. It's a multi-billion-dollar company with hundreds of thousands of distributors, known worldwide, known globally as the activation nation. And I can't wait until there's everybody has that term on their tongue. They turn around and go, "Where do I get that? I get it at the Activation Nation."
I
That's
love
my
it.
vision.
I love it. I know we're in a multi-billion dollar WhatsApp group. It's what it is, $1 billion LifeVantage. And then so that is it. Next week we will be covering habit 3, put first things first. So I'm going to stop sharing because I want to see all your cute faces. Thank you guys. I'm going to stop the recording so we'll have a clean recording.